Greetings, companions, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! In Depth. In this episode, we will be going over the Galaxy-Photon deck, a deck featuring two archetypes designed to work together, unlike certain Goblin Megazord spamming meme decks. I have not been playing this deck for long, but the more I play it, the more I fall in love with its playstyle and artwork. We will be following the same outline I explained in the previous episode, so you can check out the previous Yu-Gi-Oh! In Depth on Blackwings to get a better idea of how those videos work. With that out of the way, let's talk about the Galactic Paladins and Interstellar Dragons that make up the Galaxy-Photon deck. As you can surmise, the Galaxy-Photon deck is a combination of the Galaxy and Photon archetypes, which are designed to work in tandem. The deck has seen consistent support since the debut of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal series piloted by the rival character Kite Tenjo. Throughout the Xyz era, Photon and Galaxy cards were featured in almost every major set released. The deck did see a break in support for a time, especially Photons, until Kite made another appearance in Arc 5, as all major rival characters did. However, since Kite's deck theme received a major overhaul, switching from Photons to Ciphers, only the Galaxy archetype saw any love from Konami, as Kite's ace has always been an incarnation of Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon. As the game moved into the Brains era, Galaxy and Photon saw some support in the form of a new Xyz monsters and a new Link monster, which finally rounded out the deck. For a long time, Galaxy-Photon strategy saw no play in major events. Some cards did see play in other decks, however, such as Galaxy Soldier being used in many Cyber Dragon decks, and several Galaxy Xyz monsters being used in decks with easy access to rank 8 plays, especially Blue Eyes decks in 2016. Most of this is due to the main deck support not being consistent enough to make the deck's best monsters, as it couldn't make the level 8 monsters fast enough to make the Xyz plays the deck would later be known for. Despite this, some of these cards are highly sought after just for being in the number archetype, which is a major prize for collectors trying to collect all 100 plus number monsters. The deck has never seen a top by itself, but as mentioned before, some of the deck's best cards are used in other strategies that have seen plenty of high-level play, such as Cyber Dragons and Blue Eyes. The deck has seen a few cards on the ban list, mainly number 95 Galaxy-Eyes Dark Matter Dragon, being an easily accessed OTK enabler with the release of the Guard Dragon package. This card currently sits at 0, even after the hits to Guard Dragons because of the graveyard setup that comes with its ability to send 3 dragon monsters from the deck to the grave. The Galaxy and Photon series of cards feature mainly warrior and dragon monsters, all of which that are played have the light attribute. Galaxy Photon decks focus on summoning as many monsters with either 2000 or more attack or 8 stars in order to summon enough Xyz monsters with interruption effects or to OTK your opponent. Most of the Xyz monsters you will summon with this deck have fantastic negate effects, which give the deck more of a control feel than aggro. The Xyz monsters you summon with this deck will mostly be rank 8, but there are a few rank 4s the deck can make great use of in a pinch. If I haven't talked it up enough already, the Xyz monsters are this deck's main source of power. Each one you run serves a key purpose that would leave the deck dead in the water without it. The deck is also hard to completely disrupt, as the deck doesn't rely on normal summons and can still finish on a solid board after 1 or 2 interruptions. This deck also features plenty of monsters sporting high attack values, most of which can get up to 2,000 or 3,000 with ease. This is mainly due to Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon needing 2 monsters with 2,000 or more attack points to be special summoned. The deck is, however, limited in its choices, as several cards lock the player into summoning only light monsters. This prevents you from using cards like Dinjirisu, the Orchest of the Evening Star, and most meta-relevant Link monsters. It is also easy to draw a limiting hand depending on how you build your deck, as several of your key playmakers require some setup even if it is minimal. Floodgates are also hard on this deck, as it can be shut down completely by cards like Summon Limit, There Can Be Only One, and Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now, getting on to the notable cards, we will start with the best Photon monsters to run. Photon Thrasher cannot be normal summoned, but can be special summoned if you control no monsters, making him one of the best cards for you to start with. Photon Advancer and Photon Thrasher can both special summon themselves while you control another Photon monster. Advancer gains 1,000 attack while another Photon monster is on the field, while Thrasher searches a Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck. Photon Orbital can equip itself onto another Galaxy or Photon monster from your hand or on the field to give the equipped monster 500 extra attack points. It can also be tributed while equipped to search for any Galaxy or Photon monster from your deck. Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon bridges the gap between the Galaxy and Photon archetypes, and counts as both because of his name. You can special summon him by tributing 2 monsters with 2,000 or more attack in a pinch, and, if he attacks, Photon Dragon banishes himself and the monster he battles until the end of the battle phase. Galaxy Soldier is a level 5 machine that can special summon itself by sending another light monster from your hand to the graveyard, which allows you to run Cyber Dragon Infinity in the extra deck. It also doesn't hurt that it searches your deck for any Galaxy monster when it is special summoned. Galaxy Knight can be normal summoned without a tribute if you control a Galaxy or Photon monster for an attack reduction. He also special summons a Galaxy-Photon Dragon from the grave when summoned this way. A card I find more situational is Galaxy Wizard, who can increase his level by 4 to help with Xyz plays, or attribute himself to search for any Galaxy card in your deck, one of the few ways to search out some of your more powerful spell cards. Equally situational is Galaxy Braver, who can special summon himself if you reveal a Photon monster in your hand. His level changes to the level of the revealed monster, which means you only want to use Galaxy-Photon Dragon to summon him. Lastly, the newest addition to the roster, Galaxy-Eyes Afterglow Dragon, can special summon itself if you control another Galaxy-Eyes monster. He also has an effect when detached as an Xyz material to either special summon or attach a Galaxy-Photon Dragon from your deck. Then, if detached in the battle phase, double the attack of all number monsters you currently control permanently. The spell and trap section for this deck is extremely explosive, but extremely limiting as well. Photon Sanctuary can summon 2 light attribute Photon tokens with 2000 attack and defense position, but you cannot summon other monsters except light monsters for the turn, before or after you activate it. The even more binding Galaxy Trance is a spell that can summon a Photon from grave and a Galaxy from deck with the same level for just 2000 life points. It also completely locks you into Galaxy and Photon monsters for the entire turn, so you can't activate it if you've already summoned Cyber Dragon Infinity, and vice versa. Galaxy Expedition lets you summon a level 5 or higher Galaxy or Photon monster from the deck if you already control one. While Expedition doesn't lock you into anything, you can only activate the one per turn. Galaxy Zero is an equip spell that can special summon a Photon or Galaxy monster from your grave in attack position. You can also destroy this card instead of the equipped monster if it would be destroyed in battle. Galaxy Zero leaves the field at all, the monster's attack becomes 0. The only notable trap card is Tachyon Transmigration, a counter trap that can negate everything in a chain activated before it if you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster. If the monster is a Galaxy-Eyes Tachyon Dragon, you can activate it from your hand. The problem with this card is that it can't be searched by the archetype, making it bricky if you can't make a Galaxy-Eyes monster. The extra deck for a Galaxy-Photon builds is packed to the brim with cards. Galaxy-Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon and Galaxy-Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon can both be made by using another Galaxy-Eyes Xyz monster's material. Cypher Blade can destroy any card your opponent controls, while Full Armor can only destroy face-up cards, making both easy go-to options for removal or making use of Xyz monsters who have already used all their materials. The number monsters that you can best utilize in this deck are number 90, Galaxy-Eyes Photon Lord, number 38, Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy, and number 62, Galaxy-Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Number 90 is your go-to monster, and I would prioritize making him over any other card in your extra deck when going first. He can detach to negate a monster effect, and search for any Photon or Galaxy card in your deck to either add it to your hand or attach it as material. Number 90 is also immune to destruction effects if a Photon card is attached to it. Number 62 is one of the most infamous rank 8s on the market, allowing you to negate a spell effect and attach it once per turn. He can also redirect attacks to himself and give the attack points of Xyz monsters destroyed by battle to other Xyz monsters you control. These last effects rarely come up, however, making it difficult to get materials off number 38 once he is summoned. Number 62 was once just a stepping stone used in other decks to get to Full Armor and then Dark Matter Dragon, due to his generic summoning requirements. Now that Afterglow Dragon exists, he is one of the best OTK cards the deck has on offer. When number 62 attacks, during damage calculation, you can detach a material to have it gain 200 attack for each rank among Xyz monsters you control. If you detached Afterglow Dragon, you can then double that attack permanently and attach Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon to get around number 62's half damage penalty if you need to. Depending on the board, this will almost always swing for lethal. Otherwise, the opponent must deal with a monster sporting well over 10,000 attack points. Eat your heart out, Armitile. The deck does run 2 rank 4s. Starliege Lord Galaxian can detach 1 material to summon a Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand, or he can detach 2 to summon from deck, making him a very clutch way to get to Photon Dragon in a pinch. Starliege Photon Blast Dragon summons a photon monster from your hand when Xyz summoned, and can detach a material on the opponent's turn to summon a Galaxy-Photon Dragon from your grave or banished zone. More importantly, while he is on the field, your opponent cannot target or destroy monsters that have 2,000 or more attack with effects. Blast Dragon only has 1,800 attack points, but you can equip him with Photon Orbital to give him the protection as well. The deck also has its own Link monster, Galaxy-Eyes Soul Flare Dragon, which can be summoned with 2 light monsters, including one with 2,000 or more attack points. When Link summoned, Soul Flare Dragon can add a Galaxy or Photon monster from your graveyard to your hand, and once per turn, as a quick effect, you can discard 1 Photon card and 1 Galaxy card, or 1 Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon to destroy a special summon monster your opponent controls. In the context of Master Rule 5, this card does little to stand out. You mostly run it because it is the easiest Galaxy-Eyes card to make, allowing you to summon Afterglow Dragon, or just get Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon into the graveyard. Otherwise, the deck would work fine without a single Link monster. Unfortunately, Galaxy-Photon only has the Xyz spam strategy available to them, but there are a few different tech choices you can make to have your deck stand out. This is my build, with a few edits from after collecting the replays for this video. I cut a Braver for a Wizard, and the Advancers for Called by the Grave. After testing it, this is the build I would go with, but I recommend you tinker with the deck to see what works best for you. The Galaxy-Photon strategy was solid enough before Master Rule 5, but seemed to have some sort of limiter holding it back. Now that Link monsters are optional, and Afterglow Dragon is here for us to play around with, the deck has become what I think it had the potential to be. I think the deck is still missing a few key pieces, mainly a good level 8 Photon monster. We do have a few options, but they're all too terrible to even consider running. A spell that either searches or draws card would also be helpful in increasing consistency of the deck. All in all, the deck plays like most Legacy decks that are focused on making monsters with negate effects, but I think this one's aesthetic and raw power are what set it apart for me. I recommend everyone give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this video and decide to subscribe if you did, or comment below with feedback or recommendations for other decks you'd like to see covered in one of the next Yu-Gi-Oh! In-depth videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.